just 25 years, Living Classrooms has grown to be one of the premier organizations serving disadvantaged youth and adults in Baltimore and Washington, D.C.
I don't see Living Classroom as an organization. I see them as my family. Because at any time...
While featuring the maritime heritage of Baltimore and the region as a primary focus in their many successful programs, their influence can be found far from the waterfront, deep in neighborhoods that need a steady hand.
So we're trying to change the thinking. And when you change the thinking, you're going to change the behavior.
Their annual fundraiser in Baltimore transforms their historic Frederick Douglass Isaac Myers Maritime Park and Museum into the most unique annual party venue in the city.
The history here is a very rich history. We're really on the grounds, we're on very hollow grounds in terms of where we are with the Douglas Myers and Maritime Institute and the museum. It gives me a sense of pride to know that there were a number of African American, shipsmen, business owners, etc., that all grew up and worked in this community. And it was a very, in some cases, it wasn't just African American workers alone, right? It was a very diverse culture and economy that kind of worked in this area in terms of the shipyards, and it gives Baltimore kind of its own rich tradition. So I'm proud to be part of that. I'm proud that a number of folks have carried on that tradition. These are folks that have passed, but it's good to see that their legacy has been passed on to future generations, including the Rising Stars.
3 years ago, Living Classrooms inaugurated the Rising Stars Awards, recognizing young philanthropists for their early efforts at helping others. Karlo Young was one of Living Classrooms' first Rising Stars in 2010.
You become part of the Living Classrooms family, and part of the family you get pulled in and asked to do different things, and one of the things that happened is that they've asked me to come back and become an alumni co-chair of the Rising Stars program. So I was asked to come back. So 2 years ago I was a Rising Star. Last year I was asked to come back along with Tracy Kozowski to come back and be a Rising Star co-chair, and then this year we were asked to come back again to stay engaged, answer any questions, kind of help with fundraising and a number of things. And I've also become a navigator with the Living Classrooms Foundation. It's been a pretty great experience. Just getting to know the folks that are part of Living Classrooms, meaning the employees and staff and administration, as well as the Rising Stars and other folks that are on board, etc. And since I've gotten involved, I've been able to really just get, injected in a number of the programs that Living Classrooms does. And that's part of the most impressive things, is that Living Classrooms, their breadth of what they touch around Baltimore and the D.C. area has been pretty amazing. Just looking at all the things, whether it's folks that have come out of jail and been associated with kind of society, as well as the students that are impacted that are in some of the other programs. It's been pretty amazing. I've spoken to a number of the gentlemen that have come out of been previously incarcerated, and a lot of them tell us a similar story. The ones who've been dedicated, right? I understand what it's like. I grew up in East Baltimore. I understand kind of what you're faced with in growing up in Baltimore, or really any urban community. Baltimore sometimes gets a different rap, compared to other cities, but in any urban environment, I understand what you're faced with, some of the challenges and some of the avenues you feel like that's your only avenue you can take. So talking to some of the folks and realizing, hearing their story, a lot of similar threads, but they're all a different story. Everyone has their own path to how they've gotten to where they are now. Most folks I run into, there have been a lot of success stories in terms of folks that have gotten involved, either through Project Serve or other programs here at Living Classrooms, who really have been able to turn their lives around. Not that everyone goes goes into prison or become part of the system is a bad person. They may have just made different choices, younger in life. And a lot of those folks have said, hey, look, I'm at a different stage in my life, and I want to turn things around, and here's a great avenue for me to be able to turn my life around. What they touch, they're really about what they say, they're really about. And it shows in all their programs. So I encourage anyone who wants to get involved, reach out to someone at Living Classrooms, reach out to myself, and we'll make sure you get, find what fits for you. Some people will say, well, I want to volunteer, but I don't know really where I want to get started. I hands down, if there was a survey, and I know there have been a number of surveys about best nonprofit in the Baltimore area, I would hands down say Living Classrooms is by far one of the best nonprofits in the Baltimore area. So, can't say anything more about it. It's been a great experience since I've joined the Living Classrooms family.